Sanjay bhai, are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay. So, good day, good evening to all our viewers. We continue to hope and pray for your health and well being as we get to grips with what's going on. Millions have watched the previous episodes of Tune Into Your Heart being beamed live every Friday, and the videos remain on YouTube and Facebook channels. Thank you for your feedback, comments, and questions. We welcome you to a very special episode today where we have Dr. Adizes, a world renowned management consultant, having consulted to some of the major corporations and country leaders, and an author with 26 books translated to 36 languages, and a heartfulness meditation practitioner. Daji has just completed a 3-day virtual spiritual celebration, Love Conquers All, attended by hundreds of thousands to commemorate the 121st birth anniversary of the great spiritual scientist of our time, Sri Ramchandra of Shahjahanpur, lovingly called Babuji. On his suggestion to maintain continuity, Dr. Adizes will present today the Adizes management methodology, and in particular, how it integrates with heartfulness, giving the base for the future dialogues that we're going to have on these Fridays. An important announcement is that starting next week, Daji and Dr. Adizes will continue this weekly dialogue together. The series is now going to be called Managing with the Heart, and it will explore how to integrate spirituality with business. Of course, it will remain applicable to family and personal life too. We will be inviting special guests to join the two maestros as well. Please stand by to know more about that in the end of today's session. As always, please feel free to post your comments or questions live. We now set the ball rolling, and I request Dr. Adizes to please shed some light on managing with the heart. Over to you, Dr. Adizes, and most welcome.
Hello, 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 hello. Harpreet, I don't see anything except your name on the screen. Is that correct? Is that what should be?
Yes, that's okay, Dr. Adizes.
Okay,
You'll
so
be.
I'm talking to a name. Okay. Well, I'm very, very flattered and thankful for the opportunity to share with you 50 years of my work, my lifetime's work, in how to manage effectively, efficiently, correctly, sustainably for sustainable success. And what is really success? And then how does it tie up together with this heart? What does the heart have to do here? Usually people say the heart and business don't go together. Business is business, heart is heart. And they separate the two. And they separate the two by just making some donations somewhere and you feel you paid your dues by making a donation, paid your dues to the heart. Well, let me lecture about what is management for sustainable success. And then at the end, I will tie it with the heart and you will see how it ties up. That really spirituality and profits, business, brain, heart are not separate. They're all part of the same. And how it's part of the same. So let me start. The topic is management with the heart. Well, let's first of all talk about the word management. I'm not just talking managing a company or a division of a company. I'm talking management in the generic sense of the word. How do you manage yourself? How do you manage the family? How do you manage the company? How do you manage the country? How do you manage the globe? This globe needs to be managed too. Look what's happening with the corona. We are all interdependent. The whole world has to be treating this corona or it will not be treated. So we talk about management in the generic sense of the word. How do you manage? With a heart at the end of the presentation. So how do we manage? Well, we start first by talking about how do we manage in time of crisis, because that's what everybody is now interested in. We have a major crisis here with the corona. We are locked in our houses. The business is quasi dead, if not dead. What do we do? Personally, and what do we do with our companies? And what should our leaders do with the country? Here is what I think. First, let's understand that the corona crisis is not a, one in it just happened now. We have had quasi-coronas, which means epidemics, before. SARS was before, and the Spanish flu was before, and Middle Ages was the cholera. So it's just another chain in the chain, another. So there's going to be another one after the corona. But also notice something very interesting, that the time span between the different epidemics is becoming shorter, much shorter. Between the cholera and the Spanish flu was several hundred years. Between the Spanish flu and whatever was the next one was much less time. And the time between SARS and corona is just few years, which means that the next one after corona will be even sooner. What's going on here? Why is that true? What is corona? What is this crisis? What is the crisis? Another big change. It's a change. Something changed. We are continuously going through changes. A crisis just is a big change. There are small changes and there are big changes. When it's a very big change, we call it a crisis. So if we know how to manage change, we will know how to manage this crisis, and hopefully you will know how to prepare yourself for the next crisis. And if you don't prepare yourself, how to manage the next crisis. So we're not talking about corona now. We are talking about managing change. Why do you need to manage change? Because what is change? Change is that something new is happening, that you did not have it before, something new. It's like you go down the street in a foreign country that you don't know. And as long as you walk along down the street and there is no change, there is nothing to do, you just walk, window shopping, until you come to an intersection. And now that's change, intersection, something new. Now you have to make a decision. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go back? What should I do? That's why when there is change, we say, we have a problem. I don't know what to do. Why you don't know what to do? Because it's something new, and it means there is uncertainty. You don't have the whole information. That's why you scratch your head and you say, what should I do now? I don't know what's going on. That's what's happening with the corona. What should we do? There is uncertainty. But there is another one. Yeah. Some people, because there is uncertainty, because there is not enough information for them to feel comfortable, they say, I'm not going to go left, I'm not going to go right, I'm not going to go back, I'm not going to decide what to do because I don't have any information. I'm not going to decide. Okay, so you did not decide, you're staying in place. Guess what? You just decided. What do you mean you're not going to decide? You just decided. What did you decide? To stay in place. And maybe that's the worst decision you're going to make. Why? Because while you're on that road, even if you're on the right road, you're on the right road. If you don't move, a truck might come over and run you over. Why? Because while you're not changing, the world is changing. The world is not saying, well, he is standing, he's decided not to change. We will wait for him until he decides to change. The world continues. And maybe it will run you over. So you have to decide. I did not say you have to change. I said you have to decide what to do. Because sometimes you will say, you know what? I'm better off not moving yet. That's okay, but you're conscious. You are making a decision. Don't tell me I'm not going to decide. You are deciding. And the higher is the rate of change, what's going to happen? The more problems you're going to have. And that's why you have more decisions to make. And that's called executive stress. We are stressed, aren't we? Because you have to make decisions all the time. If our grandparents made a decision, I don't know, once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime, to move from the village to town or something. Our parents made the decisions every 10, 15 years, if not 20. We are making strategic decisions every 5 years. And our children, oh, I feel sorry for them. They're going to be even more stressed. They're going to make decisions annually. Strategic decisions. More stress. Because what's happening? Change is accelerating. We have more problems than in the past. But this stress is not coming only from decision making. Because making a decision is important, and you better make good decisions. You need also to implement the decision. Many of us make a decision and then nothing happens, like going on a diet. Here it is. Me, I'm one of them. We decided. So we decided. You need to implement the decision. But when you implement the decision, you have another source of conflict, of stress, which is what? Risk. Because now if you implement the decision, it might not work. It might backfire. So what do we say when there is change? I have a problem. I don't know what to do. And if I do it, it might backfire. There is uncertainty and there is risk. I'm in trouble. What does it tell you? Let me give you a summary, take home value. The company that's going to succeed in the future, the person who is going to succeed more in the future, the family is going to increase success in the future, the country is going to succeed more in the future. The same thing. Is the one that can reduce uncertainty and reduce risk. If you know how to reduce risk and reduce uncertainty, you're better off than the other guy or the other entity that doesn't know how to do that. And that's what we teach in Adizes methodology. Unfortunately, we have only 1 hour and we already spent 15 minutes, just introduction. But there are books, there are videos, there are programs. Welcome. How do we do that? Let me give you a summary because I cannot do 26 books in 1 hour. How do you reduce uncertainty in decision making? Well, first by understanding and accepting, which is a more difficult one, that you don't know it all. There is no ideal executive who makes all the right decisions all the time and is never wrong. Even God is wrong. He brought the flood and then he said, I made a mistake. It does not work. I cannot control people. I cannot control people. God admits he's helpless with people. He cannot make you righteous. Why don't you make me righteous? I can go to heaven. God says I can't. I tried. I brought the flood and it failed. He admits. If God is so human, who are these humans that are more than God? Unless you're Trump. We are human, which means we have strength and weaknesses. And what's very important is this humility to know your limitations. So how do you reduce uncertainty? Complement yourself with people who think differently, who see what you don't see. If you're the entrepreneurial type, you see the horizon, you see the future, you're looking up, but you don't see the rocks in front of your feet that are going to make you fall down and maybe break your leg. The other guy, the kind of a bureaucratic type, the administrative type, the straight thinker, the detail-oriented guy, always this kind of a tight face, sees all the details. He does not see the horizon. The horizon bothers him. This is too dangerous. They see the details. So compliment yourself with somebody who sees the details. So what is a good decision? Between the two of you, you are wrong, he is wrong. You are right, he is wrong, right. Both of you are right, both of you are wrong. Together, you are more right. Not more wrong. Less wrong, more right. Why? When you compliment yourself. And by the way, I'm not talking about business. I'm talking about marriage. Look at whom did you marry? Whom did you marry? Somebody who compliments you. As a matter of fact, you fell in love with your own weaknesses that the other party has as a strength. Because children, to grow, need both a feminine and masculine energy. Very difficult to raise children single parent. It's very difficult to build a company alone. You might in the short run. When you die, the whole thing will die. And in a country, by the way, you need a complementary team too. You know what is it called? The liberals and the conservatives, whatever it is. Need to work together. We need both. It's called duality. But whenever you have duality, decision making based on differences of opinion, what's going to happen necessarily? Conflict. There is conflict in a marriage. There is conflict in a country. There is a conflict in a company. There is a conflict in your own head, by the way. You are a complementary team in your head too. You have left and right brain. And they don't always agree with each other. That's why you don't sleep very well at night. So what to do? That conflict can be very destructive. Some people commit suicide. Some marriages get divorced. Some companies fall apart. Some countries fall apart. What to do? Before I tell you what to do, from my 50 years of experience, helping a lot of companies, we have to talk about another sort of conflict which comes from the implementation side. In order to implement a decision, what do you need? It's not a complementary thing, it's something else. What is it? For successful implementation, you need people to cooperate, because if you can implement it alone, you don't need an organization. Why do you have an organization? Because you can't do it alone. You don't need an organization to go to the bathroom, do you? Unless you're sick. You just go. But most of the decisions that we need to implement, we need cooperation. In a family, you need cooperation. In a company, you need cooperation. In a country, for sure, you need cooperation. Now the question is, why should they cooperate? They will cooperate if there is common interest. We have common interest, so we cooperate. And when there is common interest, implementation is more smooth and the risk is smaller. If there is no cooperation, risk goes through the sky high. Why? Because we are implementing it badly. So we need common interest. Now bad news. I said there is no ideal executive, there is nothing ideal. There is no ideal husband, ideal wife, ideal child, ideal partner, parent, ideal leader of a country. Nobody is ideal. There is no ideal flower either, because of change. Also the right side, on the implementation side. Bad news. There is no common interest, please. All these people that try to sell you, harmony, work together, love each other, We have differences. In a marriage, we have differences of interest. For sure in a company. For sure in a country. And that creates conflict. So now the question is, how do we solve that problem? How do we reduce the risk that comes from lack of common interest? Here how. In the short run, right now, we have a conflict of interest. But there might be common interest in the long run, because with a common mission, we have a common goal, like in a marriage. We have a goal to raise our children. So now we are having a conflict, yes, but the children are more important. So we better resolve our conflicts. Do you see the common interest? The family is more important. The country is more important. The company is more important. My own health is more important. So how do I resolve it now? I must have faith. I'm emphasizing the word faith. Faith that we have in the long run something. No, I have to believe, let's start there, in a common interest. But the common interest is kind of a foggy. Why would I relieve my self-interest in favor of your self-interest for some foggy goal? It will happen only if there is faith. If I have faith in you, if I trust you, that going down the road towards a common goal, if my interest is more strong than yours, you will release it, your interest for me now. In other words, it's called give and take. I give and I take, Send your bread down the river, it will come back. There is trust. When there is trust, conflict of interest is not so bad. It works itself out. Life is give and take in a marriage, in life, in a company, and it should be in a country. There should be trust. So now look, change creates problems. You have to decide, you have to implement. To decide, you need a complementarity. To implement, you need common interest. Both of them create conflict. Conflict of opinions and styles, and conflict of interest. How do we resolve it? If there is complementary team and common interest. But that will create conflict. What do we do? If there is mutual respect. I respect your difference of opinion, you respect my difference of opinion, and now what's happening? We are learning from each other and thus making a better decision together. So you will reduce uncertainty if you learn from each other differences. You will learn from each other differences if there is mutual respect, which means you accept the right of the other person to think differently because you benefit from it, because you learn from it. You're open-minded. Tell me more. Why are you saying what you're saying? What can I learn from you? And for implementation, I trust you. Okay, we'll do it your way because you know what? It will work itself out. I trust you. What makes a company successful is not how much money you have. It's not how much technology you have, IP, intellectual property. It's not how big is your market. If there is a technology, you will find the market. If you have a market, you will develop the technology. If you have a market and a technology, money will come. What is the secret? Your culture, my friends. Organizational culture. Culture of a country. I was born in a country that does not exist anymore. I still cry for that country. Yugoslavia. The love of my life does not exist anymore. They killed each other. There was no mutual respect. There was no mutual trust. There is no more Yugoslavia. And I wondered, why is Yugoslavia Yugoslavia? Why is the Balkan a Balkan? And look at Switzerland. They should have been worse than the Balkan. French, Italian, and Germans together in one country. Oh my God. They went to war every war. They don't like each other. And look at Switzerland. Not bad, eh? What does Switzerland have? Snow and cuckoo clocks. They have nothing. No oil, no gas, nothing. snow and cuckoo clocks, and a composition of people that really have been at each other's throats throughout history. Switzerland, not bad, eh? They have what the Balkan does not have: mutual trust and respect. And they make money on it. Trust, banking industry. Would you invest in a bank that you don't trust? Respect, they're very big on pharmaceuticals. Would you buy pharmaceuticals from a company you don't respect? Their strength is their culture. What is America so big about? Why is America the leader of the free world? It's not its size. Other countries are as big. It's not its physical resources. Other countries have as much. It's not even money. The Chinese have more resources than the Americans. Technology, Israelis are not bad. Where is the strength of America? Culture of mutual trust and respect. You come to America as a foreigner, you feel American. Any other country, you feel a foreigner. In America, whoever you are, Indian, French, German, Jewish, whatever you are, within a week, you feel American. They accept differences. Walk down the Broadway street, Broadway, New York. Pakistani store, Chinese store, Indian store, Jewish store, Greek store. Live in peace together. Mutual trust and respect. People invest money in America. Why in America? Why America? Because they trust the stock market. They trust the judiciary system. Success. Let me give you the formula of success. Then I will get to the heart. Here is the formula of success. Are you ready? Which applies to any system at any level. Please. This is methodology, theory, whatever that I've been developing for 50 years, and I'm still developing with my associates. We have 10 offices around the world, 100 associates, thousands of people that learn the methodology. We're constantly learning, constantly learning. It's an endless learning process. Success, any way you measure it, any way you define it. I don't care how you define success. For some people, success is to be a multi-billionaire. Good for you. For somebody else, success is to lie on the beach and collect lint in your belly button. Fine. I don't care how you define success. Success is a function of, which means it depends on, a very simple formula. Took 50 years to discover it. One formula. On the nominator, you will have external integration. In the denominator, you will have internal disintegration. That's it. Now let me explain it. What is external integration? For a business, external integration is how well you integrate with the market, measured by your market share, measured by repetitive sales, it's called brand loyalty. That's how well you're integrated with the market. If the customers are not coming back and you're losing market share, means you're not integrated with the market. You're selling the wrong product. The market doesn't want you. And if you ask yourself the question, how do I integrate with the external, in a personal life, it's called career planning. For a country, it's called trade balance. How much you're exporting, how much you're importing, how good is your relationship to the world market. And then how do you integrate externally? In personal life, business life, or in the country? The same thing. Same thing. If you take all the books on strategic planning, all the books about marketing, and you summarize them, and then you summarize the summary of the summary of the summary of the summary to get to the kernel of knowledge. You know what it is all about? You look at what are the opportunities, what are the capabilities, and how do I match them? That's it. What does the market want? What do I know how to do? What's my unique capability? And how do I match opportunities to capabilities? That's all for a country, in your career planning or for a company. What is internal disintegration? is all the rumors, internal fighting, noises, backstabbing, judging each other, politics, all the wasted energy that makes your blood pressure go up, that makes you feel miserable, that makes you want to quit, leave the country, leave the company, or leave the marriage, or leave yourself because you hate yourself, the same thing. And what is that a function of? What causes internal disintegration? Mutual trust and respect. Please notice, trust ahead of respect. If I don't trust you, don't talk to me, I don't want to learn from you. I learn from people I trust, and now let me see if I respect you. Mutual trust and respect. In a personal life, how much you respect and how much you trust yourself. Or you're so much in conflict, I don't know what to do, I hate myself, I don't believe, I don't know. In a family, the same thing. How much trust and respect there is in the family, in your marriage. When are you divorced? Not when you fill the divorce papers. That's the final act. The marriage dissolved when you don't trust and don't respect each other anymore. From there on, it's downhill. Maybe you will never get divorced, but you're divorced in your marriage. It's the same thing. When is a company over? When the partners don't trust and respect each other. When the owners fight with the trade unions. When they start fighting each other. Same thing with a country. When it becomes Yugoslavia rather than Switzerland. Mutual trust and respect. Now, why does this predict success? Formula. Because energy is fixed. At any point in time, energy is fixed. Even the most productive person in the world has only 24 hours. That's it. Energy is fixed. Now, what I discovered is that fixed energy is allocated predictably. It goes first to deal with internal disintegration, and only the surplus, if any, left goes for external integration. I had clients that had incredible technology. They had patents. They were ahead of the market. Incredible. And the market was dying for their product. So they had the market, they had the technology. When you have market technology, money comes. Money was chasing them to give them money and to become partners. The company went bankrupt. Money, technology, market, everything was there. How come? The partners were fighting. All the energy was going in their fights. They had no time to build the company. Or the founder was getting divorced. Or the founder was very sick, which means he was falling apart. Why am I talking about falling apart? Because what is mutual trust and respect? Equals to integration. The word is called integration. When you're together. The symbol for Adizes methodology is a hamsa. Look at my hand. You go to any church, you go to any ashram or all the prayer places for the Hindus, the saints are standing like this, with a hand like this. Why are they standing like this? What is this? It's a blessing, my friends. You know what is it telling you? Look at this. Be different, different fingers. Be different together. That's what they're telling you. Be different together. Whether it's a marriage, personal life, different in your brain, together. That's why we're impressed with somebody. What do we say? This guy has it all together. Wow. This family has it all together. Wow. This country has it all together. Wow. And when we are worried, what do we say? It's falling apart. It's getting unglued. Disintegration is a sign of disease. Integration is a sign of health. Now we are coming to the heart. What is absolute integration? Absolute. The pinnacle of integration. Love. When there is love, there is no space and no time. The person you love, God forbid, died. He's still with you. You still talk to them. They still talk to you in your head. You feel them, they're still here. A mother calls her son 1,000 miles away. Son, how are you doing? What's going on with you? Mom, how do you know to call me? Really, I have a certain problem. How does she know? She loves him. A child comes home from school. The mother looks at the child. He didn't say a word. She feels it. She says, what's going on? Please realize, love has no space, thousands of miles, and no time. It's limitless. Who is limitless, no time and no space? God. That's why God is love. And love is integration. And integration is mutual trust and respect. So what does the heart have to do with it? They say, God is in your heart. I said, no, that's too much. Heart is your portal to get to God. That's your entry point. That's how you connect to that absolute. There's no time and no space. Absolute value called God, called love. And how do you connect to God? How do you connect to that space? Limited space, unlimited space and time. That absolute through the heart. How? Meditating through the heart. Meditating on the heart. I've done 10 different meditations. Tried. With a candle, focusing on my third eye, putting my tongue up the, whatever it's called, palate. Mantras. Heart. The purpose of meditation is not to relax. You need to relax to meditate. It's to connect to God. To connect to love. To get reintegrated. Because when you meditate, you get integrated. That's what you do in sleep. You get integrated. And when you meditate, it's like you slept 8 hours. You feel rejuvenated. You get energy. It energizes you. You connect to something stronger than you. So how do we manage? If you can bring mutual trust and respect to the company, you're making the company strong. How are you going to manage in a corona? Use this time to strengthen your company. Make a lemonade out of a lemon. Find out anything that undermines mutual trust and respect. Change it. During this time that you have the time now to do that. Work with the people in the company. Have meetings through Zoom. How can we improve mutual trust and respect? What do we need to do? And if we do that, what are we talking about? How do we increase love? Because it's ultimate mutual trust and respect. It's ultimate integration. The more love in your company, the more successful your company will be, regardless of the crisis. Crisis, Corona is your best partner. Do you know that? That's the best thing that can happen to you. Because you will become stronger if you build integration, if you start managing with love, if you manage with your heart. Well, the competition is not doing that. They will perish and they will leave the market all for you at the end of the Corona. The strong will get stronger, the weak will perish. Darwin. Do you want to be the strong or the weak? depending what you do at that intersection you're right now. Do you sit and wait for the corona to end, or do you get up and start building love in your company? Start building love in your family. Start building love for yourself, which means integrate yourself, which means meditate. Start meditating. Start thinking about how to be stronger and better. That's why I'm talking about managing with the heart, managing with love. The future is in the love, not in the brain and not in the muscles. The biggest companies today in the world have no muscle. They have brain, computers, information. Uber, Airbnb, they have nothing, only information. What is Facebook collecting? Information. What is Google collecting? Information. But even that is on its way out, because computers will be stronger than the brain. With quantum computing and artificial intelligence. So where is the future? In the heart, gentlemen, in the heart. Thank you very much. All the best.
Dr. Adizes, actually, that was just an error from the background somewhere. A call came. There are a few minutes more if you want to conclude it. There's still a few minutes more.
Sure.
We've got about 5 minutes more.
Oh, I didn't know that. So the conclusion that I want to emphasize here is change is here to stay. Problems are here to stay. What is change? Life. When there is no change, you're dead. Change is life. Life is change. And change is problems. And life is problems. Welcome to the real world. Some people curse life because they have problems. No. Problems are a test. How strong you are. You know what the corona is? A stress test. How strong is your marriage? How strong is your company? How strong are you as a person? It is testing you. God is testing us. Are you going to stand at that intersection and waiting for somebody to come and give you the solution? Should you go left or right? Or you get up from your rear end and start working on reducing uncertainty, reducing risk. How? By working on integration of yourself, of your family, of your company, and if you're a political leader, of your country. You know, I consult to some leaders of countries, and one of them asked me, Dr. Adizes, we have these economic problems, you know. What do you suggest we do? There was a conversation. And he was expecting me to give him some econometric or macroeconomic recommendation of fiscal or monetary policy, you know, devaluation, subsidies. None of that. Do you know that? You know what I told him? Your Excellency, whatever you do, don't lose the trust and respect of the people. When we lose trust and respect for our parents, how does it feel? Because the government is like a parent of the country, to lead the country. Same thing with a leader. How can you be a leader if you're not respected, if you're not trusted? I sit in a company and we're discussing who should be promoted. We have a position, we need to promote someone. And somebody says, that person, Mr. Smith, John Smith, very knowledgeable, hardworking, productive. I think he should be promoted. Then somebody says, yes, but his people do not respect him and don't trust him. Is he going to be promoted? I hope not. Because how can you be a leader if you're not trusted and not respected? You're sowing this disintegration in the company. They're a bad apple. But we need him. He's very knowledgeable. He's a genius. He's there. Treat him like a monkey. Put him in a cage. Anytime you need information, give him a banana, take the information. Don't let him in the corridors. He's not a leader. Because a leader is somebody we trust and we respect. Otherwise, we do not follow. So, my dear friends, the more love in your life, the more successful you will be. In a company, do you love your product or you're embarrassed of your product? Steve Jobs loved the computer fanatically. That's why Apple was so successful. Do you love your customer or do you use your customer to increase your profitability and give them toxic food that makes them obese, that gets the blood pressure go up, that gets them to be sick with heart attacks? You make money, but you're killing people. Do you making money by polluting the air, making people get asthma and diseases, polluting the water, polluting the earth? Is that how you make money? How much love is there in your heart? And I will tell you how successful you'll be.
So this has to happen, in other words, and I'm just trying to figure out.
Somebody interfered with my talk. I don't know who was talking there, but anyway. So guys, the more love, the more success, sustainable success. And it will not cost you money. I have news for you. It looks like, oh, it's going to cost me money unless I pollute the air, unless I pollute the water, unless. Not true. Not true. Because people know they go to where love is. Because when there is love, they trust you. And when they trust you, they buy from you. And if they buy from you, you will make money. It's not incompatible. You will make money because they will come back. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Adizes. Apologies, I think there was some background noise from another computer, but no wonder Daji calls you the simplifier. You take this complex subject, change, conflict, and present it in such a simple way. It doesn't mean it's simple, it's fairly complex, but when you present it simply, it's better understandable. So thank you again. And the synergy with heartfulness at the culture of mutual trust and respect is so clear. And mutual trust and respect is integration, love. So, dear viewers, we are delighted to announce that a series of conversations will continue as Daji and Dr. Adizes discuss the theme of the heart. So, just stand by and I'm going to show you some information on the screen, which hopefully will make it clearer. So, yep. So, we are delighted that the Managing with the Heart series and for the inaugural episode on May 8th, we will be joined by a stalwart of management, Dr. Bala V. Balachandran, distinguished professor at Kellogg's and the founder chairman of Great Lakes Institution of Management. And Dr. Bala will be joining Daji and Dr. Adizes. His presence as our honored guest will undoubtedly enrich the conversation even further. The next is for those who may want to stay connected with whatever is being told to you in these series, it's Heartful Adizes. So if you go to adizes.com/heartfulness, you will get free books, videos, and lots of other resources, including the previous episodes. If you want to reach out to Adizes, you're most welcome. You can continue your learning with Adizes. Please go to www.adizes.com. And there are webinars, events, free diagnostic tools. You've got books, Adizes with online courses, as well as in-company implementation support is also available. And you can go to Dr. Adizes' personal website, ichakadizes.com, and you can subscribe to his weekly insights, which he writes. He does not ghostwrite them, but he actually puts in a lot of effort and writes them, and you'll really enjoy them. And if you want to connect further deeply to heartfulness, there's an app, HeartsApp. There is masterclasses available on heartfulness.org. There's a beautiful magazine. There is a Udemy course, as well as a whole host of webinars, the Pearl webinar, the Glow webinars that are available freely, and you can join them and enrich yourself. Finally, in Heartfulness, we also are running a COVID relief fund, also a Voice That Cares, which is a toll-free number, 1-800-121-3492. 3492 is Dhyana, as well as a universal prayer that we do every night. So without further ado, all I can say is thank you very much joining us, and we hope to see you same time next week for Managing with the Heart. But next time onwards, it'll be 1 hour and not 45 minutes so that we can gather more nuggets of knowledge. Thank you. Thank you for the questions. And we've got a few as the talk was going on. We will be taking up the questions in the next week and subsequently. Please keep them rolling. Thank you and good night and a good day.